It's just,
So you're going to vote for Trump.
yeah,
Do you have any concerns about Operation Warp Speed
I do not.
and how how he pushed the vaccine? Did you take the
Hmm.
vaccine?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Like, I do have issues with the vaccine specifically
Yeah.
because I was in the military at the time.
Oh, okay.
So I was kind of forced into taking it or get out.
Yeah.
And honestly, looking back on it now, I would have just gone straight out. But if you look at a lot of the problems people talk about with the vaccine, it used to be like conspiracy theory stuff. And now there's actual science starting to back up some of the
Wait, so
claims.
were you serving and they pressured you to get it?
Correct. Yeah,
And then so I mean, that's one of the biggest bullying campaigns in the history of the world,
it
right?
is.
Like that's mind blowing to me.
Mm-hmm.
So did you have buddies who actually dropped out?
Yes, I had one person that got out of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
He was honestly kind of treated like shit, getting kicked out.
Oh, I bet. I know many nurses and like people who worked in the hospitals who they were once on the pedestal and then they didn't get the vaccine and they were pushed out. They're fired, which
Quite
is
literally.
insane. So, do you have any concern? Because I love talking to people like you who are actually understand what's going on. Because people who vote for Kamala, I'm trying to understand their mindset, but it's getting tougher and tougher.
Mm-hmm.
With Trump, though, do you have any concern that COVID could happen again? Like, do you see him having any fault in allowing it to progress as far as it did in terms of lockdowns and masking and
Now, I genuinely believe that he's learned some
yeah,
because he does his own thing, but he also does follow along what the Republican Party primarily wants on most things.
mm-hmm,
And right now, it's we've kind of seen a whole dynamic shift in parties in that sense, where the Republicans are distrusting of the government now, and the Democrats are kind of more like whatever they say goes.
well, Democrats used to stand for something, right? Whereas
Mm-hmm.
like back in the '60s, it was free speech, and now it's like kind of what so I'm out here. I'm trying to figure out like what is actually what are you guys standing for?
No, the paradigm is quite literally changed.
Yeah,
It's weird.
yeah,
No, the founding fathers disagreed with the two-party system because they were trying to figure out how to get it going, and they knew exactly what would happen. It would just become choose between option one and two, and good luck.
totally. So you're going for Trump, but you don't have any concerns about COVID happening again. Like you think he's learned from the past, and if something
I genuinely
happens,
do.
yeah,
I genuinely don't think we'll see lockdowns in that sense, not unless it's something like major serious. But then that brings about the question: what is major and serious?
totally.
And then how many freedoms do you take away, and is it worth safety over freedom? I think that's the question we're always asking ourselves.
Totally. I completely agree. And I'll let you go really quick, but to switch gears, because I'm really interested in your perspective, honestly. What do you think about this war going on over in Israel and Palestine? And Trump's like, are you supportive of Israel over there?
I'm not supportive of Israel's policies,
Yeah,
but I'm also not supportive of attacking, raping, murdering, pillaging in any sense.
100%.
And both sides are being caught doing both of those things.
Do you think the reaction is still justified for the actions that happened on October 7th?
Well, honestly, we're taught to love one another as we love ourselves and turn the other cheek. That doesn't mean ignoring bad things happening.
Mm-hmm.
That means to react to things outside of our human emotions.
Yeah,
So instead of just going in and doing the exact same thing that's done to you, you go in, you solve the problem, call it square, and then you leave. Or what you can do and should do, like we were attempting to do with Afghanistan, but we kind of failed in that sense. You go in, you take care of the problem, and then you provide the resources to rebuild, and you teach what you can.
yeah.
But that doesn't work if you have a fundamental problem with the people living there,
So
and they have a problem
you're
with you.
Christian, I assume, by turning the
Correct.
cheek. Have you looked into the ideology and philosophy of Israel and of Judaism?
Yes, I have
Yeah,
some very strong opinions that
interesting.
I cannot state.
Hey, this is going the Rumble. State it, man. This is why we're out here.
No, just especially the Zionism,
Yeah,
like it's it's bad.
yeah. So you're
And I
thinking
hate the rhetoric too that they think that Christians are supposed to naturally align with anything Israel says or does.
interesting, right? How it's Judeo-Christian, and it's kind of the oxymorons there. Like, why
Mm-hmm.
are we paired to someone, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, who that they don't share the
No,
values that we share?
Zionists hate us. Like they hate what we stand for
Interesting.
for sure.
I've a little bit the reason why I'm out here because I've started to notice that there's a lot of dual citizenships within Congress, and it's
Within
like,
Congress,
so you're telling me you're serving the United States of America, but you're also a citizen of Israel. Like you see a problem with that?
I do see a problem with dual citizenship in that sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense maybe more for embassy work, and not secret embassy work. I'm talking just normal work. But
So if we're up to you, would you first, do you think Israel's our greatest ally? And second, would you
no,
continue funding them?
no, no to either one. Like there is a we're so tied in with them because of what the rhetoric and everything that we think we have to align with them. So we became so tied with them that there's a lot of financial gain and loss depending on what we do there.
Wow, that's
So,
that's extremely eye-opening to hear on a college campus, because what we
mm-hmm,
see online is just liberal, liberal, liberal. But they've also done a really good job of convoluting the Hamas people with being liberals, right?
mm-hmm.
But there's other people who are kind of like us who are looking at it and being like, well, I'm not sure I agree with what's going on there at all.
I know I was told to pick a side, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no. Like I've been told a few times, like there you have to choose a side. And true, you can't just stand behind something and just let things happen. But at the same time, you can't choose something you're morally wrong or against. So,
yeah. Because we're sending them $3 billion a year, right?
if not more, in shadier deals.
So you're waking up to American first ideology.
Oh, I've been woken up.
Yeah.
No, genuinely. Our
Who,
problem is that we have our teeth so sunk in the world that we're not evaluating ourselves. Like we've gone away from bettering ourselves because it used to be you better yourself first so you can better your family,
mm-hmm.
and then that allows you to better your country, your community, everywhere.
An individualistic society versus collectivist, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
it's like people think that they need to help other people, but really you're right. It's helping yourself, and then you can't help anybody unless you help yourself
No,
first.
it's precisely like a candle.
Yeah.
If you don't light other candles, then you're not going to make as much light,
Interesting.
or you might burn yourself out before any of the other candles get used up too.
So do you see any allegiances between Israel and Trump?
I do a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he's, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And that's also another reason why I want to get away from the two-party system. But we're stuck in it, so we're here for the long ride.
So you're going lesser of evils essentially.
Yeah, I suppose in a way, but honestly,
Did you think the election was hacked in 2020?
I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
But through my own assumption, it's like there's probably so much that's been went on that we don't even know about.
So I personally do think it was hacked,
Mm-hmm.
and I have trouble participating in the same system
I
that has
know.
not been fixed.
I know. That's why I'm registering as independent because I'm not even registered yet.
Yeah.
I'm registering as an independent, and then I'll cast my vote that way.
Yeah.
Because if it's registered one way or the other, it's probably somebody might look at them and be like, okay, shoot.
Yeah.
But if it's independent, it might not get fucked with.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to have confidence in the election system, you
I
know?
don't.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it because I honestly just because I can see if it does anything.
There's a lot of people suggesting that like the only solution is to just stop voting entirely. Do you think that's a solution, or do you think that's
On a mass
continues the
grade, I
problem?
think it would.
Yeah.
But getting that many NPCs to align with something like that is insane.
So you know what's going on around here.
I try to keep my eyes open.
Yeah. So who do you follow the most?
Who
Who's
do
your
I
go to?
follow?
Yeah. Who's your go to for news right
My go-to is Telegram. Various other. I
Okay.
try to follow liberal, right, middle.
Yeah.
Even some more extreme on both sides,
now?
just to get a perspective on
Who
all
would
of
you
it.
say the extremes on both sides?
Who?
Do you know who Nick Fuentes is?
Wasn't he just in the news?
He's been all over the news. Yeah.
Yeah, recently for the Russian stuff. Or am I thinking?
Nick Fuentes is the groper type guy who like is leading the way on the Israel is bad, but he's also very very extreme and has some
No, I
controversial
haven't heard of
opinions.
him.
Okay,
The name sounds vaguely familiar, but
Okay.
I haven't heard of him.
interesting. Have you heard of the USS Liberty before?
Oh, are you talking about Israel bombing one of our ships?
Yes, this is circulating.
Well, I've known about that for years.
Really?
I went down the rabbit hole when I was a little kid because I've just always been interested in history, and I kept finding more and more.
How old are you?
I am now 24,
Okay,
almost 25.
okay. And how long do you serve for?
4 years. I just did 4 and get out. That's actually why I'm here currently.
Yeah.
Looking to thin up and get some college done so then I can go and be an officer.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Well, I'm surprised. You're literally the very first person I've talked to. Like, and I did not expect. I guess I'm in Vancouver, not Portland, but I did not expect understanding the Zionist ideology being so pervasive.
Well,
Because it's
honestly, I have no idea. This is my one of my few times on campus so far.
yeah,
I haven't actually. I'm still enrolling right now.
yeah. Have you heard about the dancing Israelis? Since we're on 9/11,
I have not.
that's be something you look into. Probably not anything you talk about on camera, but it's basically there were 5 Zionists who were arrested on 9/11 on the day, and they ended up being security assets, and they were arrested and let go. And a lot of people are thinking, is it possible that Netanyahu orchestrated this to essentially
Here's the
wage
question.
wars in the Middle East?
Like I said, our money's so tight, everybody thinks Bush, but I think it's a multiple front, just like most things. Just look at the Las Vegas shooting.
Yeah,
There was hundreds of police calls about gunfire across the whole city.
yeah. It's
Right
hard.
when
It's
the
hard to
Saudi
know.
prince got crowned.
Interesting.
I try to be aware of things because things can happen anywhere in the world that affect me. So
That Las Vegas shooting was insane. I mean, we're supposed to believe that one guy just went nuts for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, lug all those guns up by himself.
mm-hmm.
It's just
Well,
it's fishy.
and a lot of people want to get on their knees essentially for Trump, but if you think about it, he's the one that banned bump stocks, which had no purpose other than a tool
100%.
that wasn't even used there, even though it said it was.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing that'll get me to believe.
I mean,
anything
Trump
different.
isn't conservative. He's the first president who came in who was pro gay marriage. You know, Obama wasn't when
No,
he came into
he's got
office.
a lot of good values. No, I agree. He's a person. We all have good and bad things.
Yeah,
But
totally. He's Trump. He's not a lot. Well, he used to be Trump. I feel like now he's starting to align himself with the party and being more of a politician.
well, yeah, he's learned a lot. He's Trump.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
So
Like,
you believe in him? You think if he gets in office, he's going to do good for the country?
I think he'll do better.
Yeah.
I think he'll do better.
Well,
Maybe even better than he did before.
better is a low bar when we're talking about Kamala.
It is.
Because I mean, we don't even know what she's running on.
I don't.
Yeah.
I know words, but like the debate was kind of crazy because I was expecting. Well, no, it was exactly as I expected. But I was hoping for policy discussions on both ends. Like in a true debate that I witness, I would like to see two people get on the stage, say why their policies will be better for me and the people around me versus why she's bad and why he's good, or
Yeah.
why he's bad and she's good.
Personal attacks.
I want. I just want. I want to hear policies. I want to hear what they're standing on.
Last question for you: what would you say is the most important policies to you in the United States?
First and foremost, the Second Amendment protects all the other amendments. Beyond that, it's the perfect example of freedom chosen over safety. Well, it doesn't even make you safe when you don't have access to firearms because, sure, you may have some countries that are prone to less violence. That's exactly that. They're just prone. Their culture there's different. But if you look at some countries that ban firearms, people getting stabbed. There's little circles of certain groups that will walk out in the street, circle up so nobody else can see them while they're doing something with a member of the street that's walking by. Can't get in details on that on video either.
Okay, so Second Amendment, yeah, protect constant, like
Protects everything else.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's interesting because I'm coming out here, and one of my next questions I really wanted to run into women is reproductive rights, or I want to see like if these, because that came out a couple weeks ago, that number one issue for women is abortion rights.
And here's my thing: as much as I do care about the life of the child, even as much as I don't believe in abortion, I also do believe in the rules that we were founded on as Americans. Like, you're your own person, so you should have the rights to do things. And even
if it's murder, really. So
like,
when would
I'm more of a less rules, more freedom type person because even if I'm morally against things.
So libertarian, you would identify yourself as more?
No, they're pretty cringe.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, they're pretty cringe.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because some of the things they say, and I'm like, what?
So clarify your position on abortion then. Up until 9 months, when you think? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I do. Correction. I do think there is a limit.
Where's that line?
Heartbeat, which is pretty early. It is pretty early.
Okay.
Heartbeat.
So you're very pro-life then.
Okay. Now that's my personal rules, but
yeah,
I would vote that way too. But
Mhm.
I think it should belong to the states.
Yep.
Roe v. Wade, as much as everyone likes to talk bad about it. And as much as people like to hype it up as if it was some miracle work, it wasn't that either.
Well, pretty wild that we live in the United States of America, and all of a sudden it's a concern that issues go to the states. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like that's the entire point of our country, right? To not have federalist bans on, you know. So it's wild to see the reaction to having an issue go to the states.
Oh, but they love it when it comes to guns.
Yeah, they're asking for a blanket ban on guns, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could talk all day about the hypocrisy of the left, man. I mean, them talking about my body, my choice. Yet 6 months ago, they were like, if I don't jab you with this needle and you don't submit to our vaccines, you know. So it's like their consistency of their arguments. It's issue by issue. There's no connection in any of their ideology.
No,
You know, it's whatever serves them best for that issue specifically.
no. And honestly, if we could have a little restart button on politics and everything right now, I'd totally press it.
Are we talking like nuke reset button? Or what are we talking
No,
here?
I ain't talking about a new reset button, just a reset button, magical little button,
Yeah,
which has been pressed before, but
yeah.
yeah,
Do you believe capitalism is the most ideal society?
I believe it's worked.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe a constitutional republic, which is what we are, not a democracy,
Mm-hmm.
I believe that works better.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, capitalism's worked pretty well. The only thing is we're in late stage capitalism.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
we failed freedom over safety. We chose freedom in that sense because it puts more money in the pockets of certain people,
yeah,
people with power. So it's a give and a take for sure,
it is.
but it's been very successful. We just need to refine it.
It's definitely helped. I mean, cure world poverty. You know, capitalism has helped the world substantially.
I've seen it.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, I can see where people see the food industry, and it's like, well, capitalism, all that does is put preservatives. You know, makes the food last longer because that's the whole point. So like, I can see both sides.
All that production in World War II of food and everything, they're like, all right, what do we do with all this? Seed oils, for example. What do we do with all this? And it's like, oh, you just put it in the food. Okay.
Are you a seed oil is bad type guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soy too.
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not sure if
it's a big road, but if you think about it, most seed oils are made for lubricants for various things, firearms, vehicles, engines, made for lubricants for several different things, and now they're being put in food.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if you go and crush some sunflower seeds, if you crush it, press it,
right,
and then that turns into oil, that's not bad.
Don't add a million different things in there.
No, but the whole refining process, there's just that in our not even gonna get into the entertainment industry.
Who owns that industry?
Not even gonna get into that.
But yeah, I mean,
Especially the
something's
adult
killing us,
entertainment
man. Something's
industry.
killing us in terms of seed oils or something. Because I mean, the amount of cancer is just skyrocketing, man. And it's not normal.
We're getting attacked by everything that comes at, like, everything around us, in our air, the water we drink, the entertainment we get provided.
So you don't believe our leaders have our best interest in mind?
I believe they have their own interests in mind. Just
Which would be what?
in their pockets.
Yeah.
I believe it's very rare to actually find a politician that actually cares. Like, very rare, extremely rare.
Yeah.
Like, small fraction.
Well, it seems when there's term limits, so there's no term limits, and you can just be a career politician. Things like Pelosi happens, where all of a sudden she's the best day trader in the history of the world, where she's millions and millions rich.
They actually have people that you can pay, like one of the, I can't remember the name of them, but like if you were going to invest, you'd go to an investment firm. They actually have people that they have that watch politicians, and you can base your account off them.
Genius. I've seen that. I've seen people, I mean, it makes a lot of sense for an investment strategy. Just copy the best or whatever, the richest. Do you think we're being sold out actively to foreign countries?
Oh, 100%. Because like I said, they're trying to get their own pocket more. And once you go down that road, once you go down the pocket or down the road of what fills my wallet more, then you're going to continuously go down. Degeneracy breeds degeneracy. So 100%. You're just going to keep going.
So where do you see this ending? Civil war, different country? Like what's happening here with America?
I don't know, but I hope it's a good time.
I mean, what's crazy to me about the debate last night is we're in $50 trillion of debt, and no one discussed it once. Mm-hmm. No one even said a single word about maybe the biggest issue in our country.
Well, if you look at it at an entertainment perspective, have you ever watched Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Well, you remember when the freaking, it's been a while, the Seven Kingdoms were in debt, and how the bank that everybody went to started funding that kingdom's enemies,
Yeah,
and
same
it actively
premise.
works.
Yeah.
It actively works. It works because we've done it to other countries in the past.
Mm-hmm.
We just
Totally.
fund our enemies. We fund the middleman to fight our wars for us, which is honestly why we're already kind of in a proxy World War III,
Yeah.
which could cook off, but I see it more as a slow burn until it finally kicks off.
Are you in favor of Putin over there in terms of the war with Russia and Ukraine?
Honestly, I do have a problem with what Ukraine has done in that sense because they outlawed the Russian Orthodox Church,
Mm-hmm.
which, as if you're going to call yourself a democracy and then you're going to outright ban an entire religion that doesn't harm anybody.
I didn't know that.
Yep,
I saw that they banned political parties.
they did that too.
I did not know they banned the Roman Orthodox Church.
The
and
Russian
the
Orthodox
Russian
Church.
Orthodox. Wow, that's interesting.
Just look up videos on it.
Yeah.
They're arresting fathers and everything.
Wow. I mean, it's we're not getting the truth being told over there, you know. And something about Zelensky being a paid actor to me, it just sets off like alarms.
No, I think it's perfect irony. Perfect little. Because no matter what, as you tell lies, you're going to give away little truths.
Yeah.
And even if you're not saying that, it's gonna be there and present.
Yeah.
And we see that all the time.
I mean, it's like right now when Biden's on the beach and Kamala's doing who knows what. It's like who's really running our country? The same people that's probably been running it forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nothing slows down just because.
And granted, I'm all for presidents vacationing.
Yeah.
Like all for it.
Yeah.
If he was that way at the debate, then how is he when he's working?
I mean, he's been that way for a while.
He's been that way for a while.
That's what all the people who had their eyes open were like, guys, this guy has been clearly showing signs of dementia for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just there's a coordinated effort. I feel like to be like. What I also noticed about the debate was it was so unfairly moderated last night. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would. I believe they're trying to provoke him into making it look like a strong white man attacks innocent young woman.
Mm-hmm. And I found it interesting that the only debate that I thought was actually fairly moderated was Biden and Trump last time.
I do. It was actually pretty well done. I was pleasantly surprised.
And I'm curious if they did that to essentially out Biden and not give him, you know, total favoritism to have him decline and
not
push
to
in
be
Kamala.
I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist because I like facts, but I did hear rumors and conjecture.
Love conspiracy theorists. Come on.
Me too. But
I knew it.
But I love facts more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
it's got to be based on facts.
I remember years, or not years, I shouldn't say years. Like I'll say 2 years ago, I was hearing things in the rumor mill and learning things about how they were going to try to either oust Biden right before the election, like straight 25th Amendment,
Mm-hmm.
and put her in as president, and then election happened, or they were going to have her or have drop him out right at the end, so then there wasn't a fair choice of primaries, and then have her run then.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, I was like, oh, 6 months. That's the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth lately.
Well, it's getting crazy when all these theories are coming true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like maybe it's worth looking into some of them if all these other ones are actually true. Well, shit, man. Well, I could talk for hours too. I love that you out here. Yeah, I don't want to keep. I don't want to keep it. What was your name?
Tristan.
Tristan, bro. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice
I
to meet
appreciate
you.
you, brother. Yeah, I mean, I love talking to people like you because it's like legit of like what's gonna happen. I truly don't know. I feel like we're in the wildest period of history in the history of humanity.
I feel like we're in the constant cycle that happens. It's just now we have more technology to be able to see everything. It's just very entertaining.
Interesting.
We're kind of the weak men in bad time, creating bad time situation,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I'm trying to thin up too.
Yeah, I mean, we got to.
Because who's
I
going
think
to
you're
protect
right.
our sons if we don't get better?
Yeah, I think there's an active war on our children. To be honest with you,
I do too.
You know, I think.
Well, if you look at the media, a lot of people don't realize this, but it's based off a lot of what we learned about Germany during certain years of how they talk to their citizens. We took a lot of that as ideas and kept it going.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I mean, there's a lot of interesting revelations about World War II coming out right now. I'm not sure if you saw Tucker and Daryl Cooper, I think it was, some historian, but starting to question narratives that we've never really been able to question before. And I think it goes back to what you're saying about the internet and connectivity. And we're now I mean, even 20 years ago, it was like, here's ABC's headline, and that's it. You can't really question it. There's a
And then the
couple.
old guy down the street that's somehow in the know.
Totally.
And everybody's like, what?
Totally. Those OGs who had, had tinfoil over their heads, who all of a sudden are like, wait, should we listen to this guy now?
Buying $150 AKs.
I mean,
We could have that again, but I don't think
not
we'll ever
anytime
see it.
soon. Not anytime soon, man.
Maybe it'll someday be, oh, there's one on the ground. I can just pick it up.
Dude, so
But that's a dark future.
society collapsing would be so interesting because like we're so fat that all it would take would be like fast food restaurants
Nine
cutting
missed
off, and
Nine missed meals before everyone loses their minds.
literally would lose their minds. And it's something that we couldn't control because we're so far away from how we're supposed to live and being able to like take care of ourselves that if the government shut down a grid takedown, I mean, things would go. You're right, 9 meals, bro.
9 missed meals. That's 3 days.
Yeah.
That's 3
And then
days.
what? People would be rioting and fires everywhere. So it's like, I understand the prepper's mindset.
Mm-hmm. I think as Americans, we're born to be suspicious of the government and born to be preppers because we have to be prepped. We, back in the 1700s when we were first getting ready to fight, you had to be prepped with your standard hunting load, which became our Minuteman load. And then you had to be prepared for moving out of your house quickly in case the battle came to you.
Yep.
You had to be prepped for everything.
And it's interesting when technology advances, like humans, that's been taken away from humans entirely. And it's almost like it's interesting. The easier things get, the more unprepared we get. And it's like almost unavoidable,
Planned.
Maybe.
Makes it easier.
Yeah, the reset the society.
Well, here's the thing with people. If you're looking at it from a politician's perspective, it's easier to look at people as numbers, and it's harder to control moving numbers when you have a wide range. But if you have it at 0, 1s, and 2s, it's super easy to keep 3 numbers in line. Like either something isn't, either something is, or something's a little more. The more freedoms you give people, the bigger the numbers are. Harder it is to keep track, but if you keep nice and smooth, it'll just be a straight line through.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think the whole point of questioning your government has gotten lost. And it gets controversial, but when we have such an open border and our demographics are changing so much, they're almost like tied to the Democratic Party because those people brought them in. It's like, how are we going to open the border and then offer them all this money, Medicare, all this stuff, and then expect them to vote Republican or their kids who will be able to vote?
They're going to vote whoever's in at the time. Whoever gave them that.
Yeah. So it's a math problem. It's like we're a ticking time bomb until our country is no longer America. What's up, man?
Let's go, Jacob.
Spencer, nice to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you, Spencer.
Nice to meet you, man.
Did you get signed up for classes?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah,
fantastic talk, brother. I appreciate you, man.
sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, you're good, man. We were on too long anyways.